Hello coders, welcome to the Java series. In this series, I'm going to show you how to use Java and work with Java files. To get us started, first I just want to introduce you to one of the platforms you can utilize to do your Java coding. The one I will be using in these examples is going to be Eclipse. Eclipse has the functionality to allow users to do simply Java code. You can also do C or C++, but in this case, I'll be working with Java code. If you're used to other IDEs such as Visual Studio Code, feel free to use those as well, but I just want to give some spotlight to Eclipse as this is the one I used when I was learning how to code. So I'll go ahead and just give you a basic tutorial about Eclipse and how to use it to develop your Java code. So here is going to be our home screen of the Eclipse. So Eclipse actually looks like this. If you go down to the toolbar, it looks like a globe with blue lines on it. And you can download Eclipse directly from the internet. As I mentioned, you could also use Visual Studio Code, but this is a Eclipse tutorial. So once you download Eclipse and save your workspace, you'll see this screen. Now, as you see, it's very minimal. It doesn't really have that many details. It doesn't really have a lot going on, but it will run your code. So the one thing you want to pay attention to is up here in this left-hand corner, you see there's this window with the plus sign. This is where we're going to start all of our work from. So if we click that, then you'll see we have a wizard, and the wizard tells you all the different types of products you can work with. So we have Git, we have Java, we have Gradle, etc. So those are all the different projects you can work on. If you click the little down arrow, it opens up this interface as well, which tells you different things you can create in Eclipse. Typically, you might want to create a Java project, which is essentially just a folder that can hold various Java files. So that's what we will be using in this tutorial. So once you create your Java project, you pretty much want to open it up. So in Eclipse, there's something called a package explorer, and that package explorer is what will show you the folder and all of the files within it. So for us to find that, if we go to the top and we go to window, we go to show view, and we go to the right and click project explorer, then it will open up the project explorer pane. You can click and drag this to make it a little smaller so it doesn't take up your whole screen. But if you click this arrow, you see that we have the Java tutorials folder that we just created. Click on the arrow, and then here we have our JRE system library, which is all of the modules or packages that we can utilize in Java. And you can close that. And source is actually going to be where we're going to store all of our Java files at. So right now we don't have any files, which is why you don't see anything. But for us to create a file, we can simply right click on source, go to new, and then you can go over to the right and see all of your options. So within here, you can create another package if you would like, or you can just simply create Java class or interface or a Java file in itself. The most common one you'll probably use is the Java class because that creates a class for you. As you know, in Java, you will have to have some sort of class for your code. So I typically go to that one. You can also go to File and create your own class, but if you use the class option here, it will mainly do most of the hard work for you. So we'll go ahead and click that. And then it'll ask us, okay, what do you want to name your file? We'll say first file. And then here you have your modifiers, which we haven't spoke about yet, so we'll leave it here. But the main thing you want to select here is the public static void main, because that will create the main method for you. So if you click that, and then it says, do you want to add comments? You should always use comments, so click that as well, and then click finish. So here we have our first Java file. As you see here, it created our class for us and named it after our Java file. And it also has our main method that we can utilize in our code, as well as some comments, placeholders that we can use to explain what is going on in our Java file. So that is basically how you would get your file started in Eclipse. We can also just do a simple example of how to work or run with this file. Currently, right now, we don't have any code inside of our main method, so nothing's going to happen, and I don't want to necessarily put any code yet because I haven't got to that portion of the tutorial. But if you look up here at the top, you have the option to run your file by clicking that green button. So if you click that green button, it will basically run your file for you, and it will give you back whatever your file basically has asked for. You can also click on it and click run as a Java application, and it will run your file. But as you know, we don't have anything written here, so our file's not going to do anything. But to run it, that's where we go, up here to that green triangle. So there's other options up here that you can use. So if you want to search for something, you can come here to the edit to search for it. You can also go to the source if you want to import things or clean up your code, add different things to your code so you don't have to necessarily type it out. Adding comments, removing comments, indenting, formatting. Formatting is good if after a while your code is starting to get a little crazy and you need to make sure that it's formatted properly. And then you also have the ability to rename or move stuff. Just here we can navigate to different things, find different lines of code. You can also search here. Here's your project area. Here's another example of running and all of the things you can do with running. So here's your window and the different perspectives you can have and help for documentation purposes. So that's a quick example of Eclipse, and here you can go to the file and save as to save everything, and you can also import and export. So hopefully this is enough to get you started in creating code, working with Java code, and figuring out how to create Java files to complete your coding exercises. So in our next tutorial, we'll get started in Java and seeing what that looks like.